Hello everyone, I am back once again, and today I'm going to be showcasing another run of Kid Icarus. However, unlike the last one that I did, which was actually on the 3DS, I'm actually going to be showcasing one here on the NES version via the Wii U's Virtual Console. Because yeah, I actually got this game on the Wii U's Virtual Console. I know that the Nintendo Switch has one as well, but and I think it's in better quality than what the Wii U has. But I just wanted to play it here on the Wii U. For one thing, because I already paid for it, obviously, and the other thing was just that it's a nice reflection to the fact that I did in fact try playing the first Kid Icarus game as far back as 2015, which was the year I got this game, as well as all the other ones, such as Kid Icarus Uprising, Myths and Monsters, and of course the original via the eShop and whatnot. So yeah, so if you're wondering how I actually am gonna do this, I'll get into that in a bit, but I just wanted to let you guys know that the way I got into the Kid Icarus franchise is pretty straightforward, actually. I'll try to be as simple as possible, but it's simply that, well, the character of Palutena was introduced as a playable character for Smash Wii U, and I immediately fell in love. That's all I can say. And then from there, because I actually wanted to have that character as my signature in Smash Wii U, I wanted to actually get into the franchise that she's from, honestly, in order to, you know, have that like strong connection with the character and whatnot. So therefore, I got all the Kid Icarus games and bought it, you know, and started playing them all and whatnot. So yeah. And here we are. I actually did play through the first one already in the form of the 3DS version. If you saw it on my YouTube channel, it's just, you know, just around the corner. It is a hard game. However, this version of the game, which is basically the original NES version, this one is actually incredibly hard. It's surprisingly harder than the one on the 3DS. It actually makes the 3DS version seem like a completely like user-friendly game, which I think that was the goal, actually, all things considered. But yeah, this game, it actually feels like a whole different game altogether, honestly. Just given even though it's like laid out the same as the 3DS, it feels different because the enemy patterns here are actually much different, and the control for this game is just terrible. Because here, I mean, the jumps are not as consistent as in the 3DS. And therefore I end up dying for no reason. By the way, for this run, I actually die a lot, but I'm only going to showcase when I die once in every world and whatnot, because, you know, showing the amount of times I die will just make this video much longer. I recorded 3 hours of footage for this game, honestly. So yeah, no, doing that is just not in my interest, honestly. Also, I should have mentioned this like at the very beginning, and you should already notice this by now, but yes, this video is actually being post-commentated. This was pre-recorded. I had to splice and literally put everything together, because otherwise, if I just, like, you know, if I just put everything the way it is, you guys would be watching a whole ass movie, and there's not really like a lot I need to talk about when it comes to this game, but there are things I want to point out, which is why, and not to mention, obviously, like, how many times do you really want to watch me die like 50 times? It was probably more than that, actually, all things considered. But yeah, so yeah, but yeah, so this is gonna be the first level of Kid Icarus. It's the underworld. It's actually already hard, honestly. And did I mention that this game does have its differences compared to the 3DS version? Here's one of them. If the controllers and the enemy patterns weren't already different. Although I think this actually falls into the enemy patterns category, actually. And it's just the fact that some enemies don't actually position themselves the way they did in the 3DS version of Kid Icarus. And when it comes to the spec nose enemies, which are the ones that fly in those rooms, obviously, they're actually much faster, which is actually, you know, very difficult for me to react to, and it actually causes me to miss a lot of arrows, which is actually very important, as you're gonna find out in a bit. Anyways, this is the chamber room right here, and it's important to shoot all these things, because if you don't, I think you disappoint the gods or something like that. And here I kind of fucked up, because I actually forgot that I was supposed to shoot that last one. That last one is actually supposed to be a special item, but if you don't get all these items in the right order and whatnot, like if you don't shoot all these pots in the right order, you might actually unlock what they call the God of Poverty, which is, you know, someone who just takes all your shit that you just unlocked from these jars, and you're pretty much left with nothing. But if you get all of them in the right order, you can actually get a special item. And actually, I am going to get one of those somewhere down here, but it just wasn't it right here because I fucked up here, actually. This game actually is very, like, nerve-wracking for me. Like, it's very... because I know how difficult it is. I just get nervous in a lot of instances, and I actually end up, like, choking a lot of the times. That's what causes me to, like, die a lot in this game. Playing as Pit here, I'll admit, like, every time he gets hit, I always feel bad for the guy, honestly. Because, like, it's just, like, I don't know. Just knowing how he acts in Kid Icarus Uprising, he just sounds like a kind soul, honestly. That when I see him getting, like, taking damage here, it's like, damn it. Like, my heart sinks, literally, because, like, I do think Pit is a cool character, and I think he's pretty chill. I can see myself, like, getting along with the guy, like, having a good chat and whatnot. And him being friendly about it, honestly. But, yeah. So, here, obviously, that actually, like, amplifies my nervousness when it comes to playing this game, because I don't want Pit to take damage, but I know it's bound to happen. By the way, those items that I just caught right there, those are chalices. Those things actually help restore your HP for when you take hits, and those things, I suggest for this version of the game, I suggest you use them in a wise manner, because if you go into this room and you don't collect the chalice, it actually disappears by the time you get out. So, which wasn't a thing in the 3DS version of the game, actually, which kind of is starting to obviously indicate that that game was definitely made to be more user friendly compared to this one, because this game is just straight up relentless. Here, oh yeah, and the hearts in this game disappear much faster. Yeah, here I think I like cut it because I ended up like taking my time farming for some hearts because I needed it. And here you're gonna see again where I actually died. What happened there, by the way, was that I actually locked in place for some reason, and even though I tried reverse jumping, like I tried reversing my momentum to jump the other direction or to drift towards the other direction, it just had me locked there and I just fell off because I couldn't turn around for some reason. Again, inconsistency with the controllers. That makes this game very, very hard. I didn't have this problem with Kid Icarus on the 3DS, actually. And when I say Kid Icarus on the 3DS, I'm not talking about Kid Icarus Uprising, by the way. I'm talking about the first Kid Icarus that's released on the NES, or 3DS, NES, 3DS. The 3DS edition of the first Kid Icarus. Keep that in mind. Don't get it confused with Kid Icarus Uprising. It's not Uprising. This chalice... Here, I do take my time again to like shoot these mono eye thingies, and just to collect more hearts, because I want to be able to get a second health bar, because if you collect more hearts you get more points, and if you get more points you can actually get enough to unlock another health bar, making it much easier for you to take more hits and be able to like you know last longer in the levels, obviously, because here in this early portion of the game, it's very, very difficult to avoid a lot of enemies with just this one health bar, honestly. Here, also, I'm trying to take advantage of just, the fact that the chalice is right there. So if I'm, like, getting hit for some reason, I can just collect that and then enter the Spec Nose room and get rid of any enemy that's still around. Because what happens when you enter these rooms is that when there's a lot of enemies like this right now, if you just enter that room, all of them disappear, which I think is pretty cool and very useful, actually. But if not, then obviously, you also have the option of just going forward and not actually bothering entering the room. But that's not in my interest, for sure. But anyways, there I finally collected the chalice, because it's gonna disappear if I don't collect it anyway, so might as well collect it, honestly. And as you can see, the Spec Nose enemies, they fly like fucking crazy. They fly more faster here than they did in the 3DS version of Kid Icarus 1. Which made this whole thing very difficult for me. It made it difficult for me to react when I'm gonna actually shoot them and whatnot, which is costly because again, it causes me to shoot a lot of arrows and miss a lot of the time, and believe it or not, that's actually crucial. I'm gonna get into it once the moment comes, but right now, yeah, goal right now is to just traverse all this stuff and not fuck up. Also gotta be careful with these ice parts, because I feel like these ice parts, when I try to jump off something, I think it locks me in position, specifically because of how slippery it is. I don't know, but it does that a lot, and I died numerous times here trying to get through that, honestly. So that is a rip me, honestly. Here, that was a black market shop, by the way. I usually try to avoid them if I don't have enough hearts, just because a lot of the items are very, very expensive. They're good items, but they're very expensive, and the goal right now is to collect as many hearts as I can, because I want to get more points so that I can earn that second health bar. Now here, this thing, I think we already saw this, but this is a Reaper, and those four little things that fly afterwards are Reapettes. Those things are pretty annoying. I think they're harder to hit in the 3DS version of the first Kid Icarus game than it is here. Here, they actually come in a pattern that's actually very predictable, surprisingly enough. But the Reaper itself seems to take more than 10 hits. In the 3DS version, it seemed to be only 10 hits to take out this thing, but here it takes like 12 or 14 question mark? Maybe I'm not counting right, but it really does take a lot. There's another chalice right there. Make sure you get that, even if you took only one hit, because it'll disappear afterwards. That wasn't the case in the 3DS version of Kid Icarus. I need to remind you guys that the chalice doesn't disappear if you enter this room in the 3DS version of Kid Icarus, because, I don't know, I guess, again, trying to make the game more user-friendly, because this, without that chalice, with that chalice gone after you enter the room without collecting it, it's very costly. It really is a big deal, especially given how difficult this game is. Here, more traversing. Even though this is, I think it's crazy that this is still World 1, I think. Oh no, World 2 actually, I think it was. Oh no, actually, I think this is still World 1 actually. Yeah, I think this is still World 1. I didn't pay attention. I think this is still World 1 though, which is kind of a big deal. Oh no, I think it's, no, it is World 1 still. Full of ice places, and yeah, here, because of the slippery mechanics with this, with the control of the character and whatnot, you can easily slip off here when trying to jump from platform to platform, especially given how narrow they freaking are. Here I'm trying to like avoid the mono-eye thing here, but it's very difficult. I had to take damage, unfortunately. Taking damage is also like something you want to avoid here because, again, you only have one little health bar and not enough chalices. Although you could purchase one in the shop, but it does cost a lot of hearts, honestly. And I'm trying to collect a lot of hearts so I can get something good, like later on. Like something like a bottle of life or something. Which is one of the several items that this game has. I get caught red-handed by another Reaper, but we're going to try to dodge him as much as possible. Here we're going to try to shoot them. Here I missed. I fucked up how to position myself and whatnot. But the reason why I try to like not stay on one part of the ground for too long is because those things pop out of nowhere underground. You saw that thing that just shot like a little ball at me? Those things pop out of nowhere from the ground if you stand in a certain area. I don't even remember where exactly. I think they just varies, honestly. It just depends where your character stands for too long, honestly. But that's why I always try to be on the move, because look at that. They just come at you like out of nowhere. Okay, so here I'm going to take more damage. There's a Reaper up there, but if I enter this room, it'll disappear. Now this room here is I think it's the Sacred Chamber, because this is where I actually get the first of 5 strength arrows here. And this character right there in the middle is actually a Zeus, I think it's Zeus, like the god Zeus, I think. And he's the one that grants you these strength arrows based on style points, which you can't actually see in this game, actually. Like, you cannot see the style points in this game. It's a hidden mechanic that's actually in the game, that you have to actually, quote-unquote, impress the gods in order to actually have Zeus come to Pit and summon him with a strength arrow. And if you don't impress the gods, that Zeus will not appear in that room, and the room will just be empty. And you'll be stuck trying to shoot a lot of enemies. Because what the strength arrows do is make it so that it takes less arrows to take out enemies, honestly. For instance, that seal-looking thing, in the first level, it took me like more than one shot to take it out. Even though I didn't take it out whatsoever, but it does take more than one shot to take it out. Here, it took me only one shot to take it out, which was pretty nice. Very useful. Especially because these seals are very dodgy. Like, if you try shooting them, they'll kind of like duck and shit. But, you know, here I was able to tactfully take them out. This is a Spec Nose room, and because I'm low in HP, I don't want to mess around with them because I'm not good at aiming at these damn enemies. So here, what I do in this third level, and yeah, by the way, that last level was the second level. I got lost for a second, honestly. It's very hard to keep focus in this game, actually. That's why I didn't want to like play this game like with live commentary, because it was gonna be difficult. And look at how many times I die. This is the first time I die here, but that's the only one you're gonna see, because I died like 50 more times here as well, honestly, before I finally got ahead of it, honestly. Because game is insane, honestly. It's relentless. Even though I'm familiar with the patterns of some of these enemies, like, I don't know why, but my patience just kind of wears thin a lot of the time, that I just try to YOLO it and just go in. Because that's kind of how I like to do it, especially considering I come from a franchise known as Contra, where your goal is to literally go in and shoot things. not play reserved like this game kind of forces you to, honestly. So here we go again, avoiding the Specnose room because I don't want to take damage. In this level of the underworld, there is no chalices, so you have to purchase one from the shop or get a bottle of life to stand a chance to getting around this level, honestly. Unless you're an expert that knows how to dodge all these enemies, which certainly exist on YouTube actually, but I'm not gonna like be able to do that myself because I'm not very good at this game. I already told you why I actually play this game is because, you know, Palutena is a character in this franchise and I like her, obviously. But anyways, so here's another shop, and this is actually not a black shop market, but I decided not to get anything just yet because I wanted to actually see if I can continue on here without buying anything, because I wanted to still have a lot of hearts at my disposition. I wanted to make sure if I can like dodge all these things if possible, but it's not very easy because these enemies, kind of like the enemies from Contra, they kind of move in a very weird pattern that kind of makes it difficult for me to aim and shoot them properly. Their angle of positioning is very, very weird, basically. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay, so here's another one of these chamber rooms that this time I'm hoping I don't choke, but it is possible to choke it because of the slippery movement that this game has. So here, yeah, here I take my time because I'm actually looking at a chart to determine which jar I should save for last, and yeah, it turned out to be that one right there above the entrance. So, by the way, there's like a little trick here that supposedly like you have to shoot 3 jars that are guaranteed, that will guarantee not have the God of Poverty. And based on the amount of hammers that come from those 3 jars is what determines where the God of Poverty will be, which means that's the last one you should save. And if you save that last jar for the very end after you shoot all the other jars, that's when you can finally shoot that jar without fear of unlocking the God of Poverty, because the God of Poverty will have already dipped after you outplayed him or something. And then you get a very special item. In this case, I got the feather thingy, which is very, very useful for a game like this, because if you fall off the level, you'll actually be able to fly for a bit, which is kind of nice considering Pit is an angel. He's supposed to be able to fly, but he isn't. But seeing him fly is actually kind of cool, actually. But I have to use those feathers wisely, because otherwise when I'll need it the most is when I'll actually not be able to use it and whatnot. But yeah, very cool stuff. There's other items that you can unlock besides the feather, honestly. And I'll kind of get into them if I can, honestly. But here, what I'm trying to do right now is trying to get through this level, because all these things are very, very relentless. Like these jumping things, they jump much faster than they did on the 3DS version, which is very scary, because a lot of enemies that move fast in these games are very difficult for me to react, because I'm actually terrible at reacting in a lot of video games. So yeah, having to deal with this is very, very scary. And taking damage is actually bad too, honestly, because remember that whole thing I mentioned about the style point system that this game has, impressing the gods and whatnot? If you take a lot of damage, you're going to disappoint the gods. And if you shoot a lot of arrows and miss, you're going to disappoint the gods. The only way you can impress the gods is by collecting a lot of hearts, which is usually what I hope to get out of these enemies. And shoot particular enemies as well by landing the arrows is also a way to impress the gods as well. Here's another black market, and here, because I'm low in HP and I'm close to the end, I decided to just get the bottle of life. I could have gotten this much cheaper at the other shop, but I wanted to take my chances to see if I can just get around this without spending any money. But here, I did have to spend a lot of hearts to actually get the bottle of life, so that I can get through this final portion of the level. Repeats are showing up once again, and these jumping things, I don't know the names of all these enemies, by the way, because there's just a lot of them, actually. Which is kind of insane for an NES title, because usually NES titles usually don't have a lot of resources, so they don't really have a lot of things going on here. But this is one of those games that actually has a lot of shit going on. I was expecting this game to be just as short as Contra, but this game is actually pretty lengthy, actually, for an NES game. I don't know if Zelda has actually the same thing going, where the game is just very, very long, but this game just feels like has a lot going on, honestly. It kind of does feel like what Kid Icarus Uprising could have looked back then, honestly, if it was released in the 1980s. But yeah, here I have to outplay this Reaper as well. If he sees me, jump over it, get into that room, make sure all of those enemies disappear. Now here, this is a room which also has Zeus in it. It's supposed to be a training room where you're supposed to dodge all these monoliths, And by the time, if you survive it, because you can actually die and lose and start over from here actually too, honestly. This is not like, it's called a training room, but you still can lose a life here, or not lose a life, but you can like get finished off here as well, honestly, and start over from the beginning of the level. So yeah, it's kind of not really that, it's not like it's not a friendly training session, if you want to put it that way. But Zeus will be impressed here because you handle this. And by the way, unlocking these sacred weapons is also a way to impress the gods, especially because Zeus is present for this, witnessing your training, you going through the rigorous training of dodging those monoliths. You unlock one of those 3 sacred weapons, and the goal, if you want to get the best ending for this game, you have to collect all 3 of them, and you have to make sure you don't lose it, which you'll find out how it's possible to lose them actually, once we get further into this game. Here, I got enough points, thankfully, and I was able to get the second health bar. However, you'll notice that unlike in the 3DS version of this game, there actually is no like health being given. Like, you don't get the new health bar with some HP, honestly, or yeah, I'll call it HP, honestly, hit points. Yeah, you don't get HP, which was a thing in the 3DS version. You actually do get HP every time you unlock a new health bar, but in this version of the game, you do not get any HP with the new health bar. You just get the new health bar, and it's up to you to get it all back, the hit points that is, which is crazy. And just goes to show you that this game, it was right there when I realized, okay, now I see why people said that Kid Icarus 1 is a very good game, very fun game, but god damn it, is it really, really hard. Because, like, I honestly thought that maybe these people were just exaggerating. It's not that hard. But no, it's freaking relentless, actually. It's the most merciless game I've ever played. I can confidently say that this game is actually much harder than Contra, actually. Because it's longer than Contra, and you die more often than in Contra. Like, you're likely to die here a lot compared to Contra. Plus, there's a lot of things in the fortresses particularly that can prevent you from progressing. And you're going to see them in a bit, honestly. Yeah, also, you saw that I died here as well, because, again, I didn't get any additional HP when I got that new health bar. In the 3DS version, that would have made things a lot easier for me. But this is not the 3DS version. This is the NES version via the Wii U's Virtual Console. So, it is what it is, obviously. Also, another thing that's pretty annoying here is that I cannot shoot enemies from below the platforms like you could on the 3DS version. So, again, making this game much more ruthless. And, by the way, those are the eggplant wizards. You do not want to fuck with those things. Because if those eggplants land on your head, you turn into an eggplant, and then you have to go through hell and back to find the hospital room to remove the eggplant curse, is what they call it, honestly. But to find that room, you have to go through all of these rooms. You have to know the maze like the back of your hand in order to even find it with ease. This fortress, I only know my way around to get to the hot springs because I kind of need to know where the hot springs are because I'm going to be taking a lot of damage here. And because of how impatient I can be, you're seeing that I'm just kind of YOLOing it. I'm just going here like as fast as I can because I really need that hot spring. And here it is. Hilariously enough, in this game, well, in pretty much the entirety of the NES version of this game, these hot springs actually look like litter boxes or sand pits. They don't look like actual hot springs, but after playing Kid Icarus Uprising, I can see how this is just the hot spring, honestly. Like, at first, when I first played through this, I was like, you know what is this? Is this a sand pit? And then, like, I put 2 and 2 together, and that's when I realized, oh, wait, it's gotta be a hot springs. It's gotta be what they, like, I know about the concept of hot springs because it's been mentioned a lot during, like, videos of Kid Icarus Uprising and whatnot. So I kind of just figured that this would probably be the hot springs that they were talking about, honestly. Because let it be known that Kid Icarus was the game that I actually played first before I played Uprising. And the reason I played this game first was because I actually wanted to, I kind of wanted to start from the beginning. Since it's only 3 games, Kid Icarus was a very easy franchise to get into. And I wanted to start from the beginning. So that's why I played this game first before I played Uprising. But here at the time, I was able to put 2 and 2 together that those sand pits were hot springs because of the fact that I was getting HP, honestly, back when I just sit there and whatnot. More eggplant wizards right here. Also, you'll notice that I spliced here a little bit because I was actually spending my time shooting those skulls over and over again to collect more hearts, and now I have 752, which is nice because that means that I'll be able to purchase more expensive items if I ever need to, which is very useful. Here we're gonna run into the first boss here of the fortress. I think this boss is particularly Twin Bellows. The one that I think is the first boss that you run into in Kid Icarus Uprising, actually, so that's actually kind of funny. That this is how he looked like in the original, honestly. Again, this boss was easier in the 3DS version of Kid Icarus, but damn, here I don't know why he's much harder. He moves weird, and I'm not able to just like shoot him all willy-nilly. Thankfully, I can still dodge, but I needed this second health bar in order to actually beat this thing, because when I played this again recently, I only came in here with 1 health bar, and I could not beat this thing. I could not outlive this thing before it took me out, honestly. So like, yeah, obviously I had to start over, and this time I got the second health bar, got through the hot springs, got as much preserved as much HP as possible, because I was still gonna take hits regardless, honestly. But I was able to keep it together and finally take out this damn Twin Bellows thing. I get the casket, which has one of the sacred treasures, which I need to have all 3, because that's what I'm gonna need to actually take care of Medusa, who currently has Palutena captive and whatnot. So this game is kind of like Super Mario in a way, where you have to kind of like traverse all these worlds to save Princess Peach. Well, we're kind of doing something similar here in Kid Icarus, where we have to traverse all these worlds in order to get to Palutena. This is the overworld now, and the enemies here, those rocks that come down, it's very important to shoot them, apparently. Like, you actually have to shoot these to actually collect their hearts. And supposedly the enemies themselves, just killing them, for some reason, they actually give you style points as well. In other words, it impresses the gods. And that gives you a chance to get another strength arrow early. Here, this is another conventional shop, not a market, not a black market. So the items will be cheaper here. I decided to take advantage of the fact that I have a lot of hearts right now to get a bottle of life, because what the bottle of life does is that if you lose all of your HP right now, it'll give you 1 HP bar back, like entirely, and you'll be able to still be around for a bit longer, unless you can actually find a hot springs to restore your HP. But it basically helps with your longevity, I'd say, so it's very useful to have one of those, if not more. It's just very hard to come across because they're still very, very expensive items. And I actually don't do the haggling technique here, like, ever, honestly. I should, but I kind of forget how to do it, honestly, so yeah. I think you have to like hold A and B or something. I don't remember though, but you know, I don't even bother with it anyways. Too lazy, you know me. Anyways, here I'm trying to take out more of these rockmen because yeah, very important for style points and whatnot. And I do want to impress the gods so I can get all the strength arrows that I can get. Keep an eye, make sure that there's no more rockmen. Once the rockmen have stopped, that's when we enter this room. And this room is thankfully a hot springs because I really, really needed this. And considering that you don't get HP when you unlock a new health bar, it makes these very, very important. As well as purchasing chalices and bottles of life to make sure your longevity is up to snuff and whatnot. Now here, yeah, we're just gonna keep on going. These little bottles keep shooting these little shemums. They're these little snake thingies that have wings, kind of reminiscent of the biblical figure Satan when he's in the form of a serpent to tempt Eve and whatnot. But that's not what the shemums are, but they look like him, honestly. Here I shoot more rockmen. I do have curiosity of this room because I do forget what some of these rooms consist of, honestly. Even though I've played this a decent amount of times now, I forget what some of these rooms consist of. I can never tell if it's the black markets, the training rooms, the Specnos rooms, or the treasure rooms. I just don't remember because there's just so many things that come out of these rooms that I just forget. Here I wanted to take my chances of collecting more hearts because I know I'm going to be spending more money on getting more items from the black markets or the shops. But as you can see, I'm missing a lot because the movement of these Specnos enemies are very, very fast compared to the 3DS version, where they were much more, you know, navigatable. I don't know how to say it, honestly. I'm just making up shit now. But yeah. Okay, so here, these bubble-looking things come around. They look like spiky bubble thingies. You just shoot them. They bounce up for some reason and then float back down. If you collect the heart, you actually make them pop out again sometimes, like that. Right there, I fell into what I can only assume is a scalding water pit, I think? Because if it was lava, I should have probably just died, right? But, yeah, no. It's just, I think it's just hot water, honestly. Like, very hot water that if Pit falls into it, like, it burns, obviously. It's not like the water from, it's not like the hot water from the hot springs, honestly. But rather like scalding hot water. Which, yikes, that sounds painful, actually. But here, yeah, there's these enemies that look like the mono-eyed enemies, but they're not. But they're pretty annoying, too. But they're kind of doable. But they can be annoying sometimes. This is a black market. You know, what's very funny about these black market shops? You know how in Kid Icarus Uprising you can just tell that the game is full of humorous moments? I think these black market guys are very much a hint of that game, pretty much consisting of all of this, honestly, of all this humor shit, because they sound very sarcastic for some reason. Like you saw how he said it. He's like, "What do you say? Try buying from me," and I'm just like, I don't wanna, because I don't got enough hearts, or I feel like I feel like I'm gonna need it. Because, you know, just in case I lose one of the sacred weapons. Which, by the way, I'm actually using right here, and I forgot to mention that as well, that I am actually using one of the sacred weapons right now. In the form of the protective crystals, I think is what it's called. This thing is actually very useful, and if you actually get access to the weapons, I actually highly recommend you get this sacred weapon first, before anything else, because it helps you against these rockmen, which you have to shoot, but they're also very difficult to hit, so... If one just appears over your head while another one appears right next to you, you can shoot the one next to you instead and let the other one, like, take the hit for you, honestly. Or vice versa. Here's another treasure room, and here, once again, I gotta make sure I think here is where I choke, actually, and I actually collect the item again, before I actually get to the last jar. Crap. Sorry about that, the hiccups. But, yeah. Here, I got 3 hammers, but obviously, I think here is where I choke. I could be wrong. Maybe it's the other level that I actually choke on. Somewhere around here I choke, though. Let's see. I get that, I get that. Oh, yeah, right there. Right there I choked. I think I was gonna try to move backwards, but I messed up on my directions and I went forward instead and got the item, so therefore I fucked up here. By the way, bursting these jars also disappoints the gods, so unless you can get all of them and collect the hearts that come with it, you're pretty much screwed. So if you don't actually, you know, like, you'll be screwed and you won't be able to get one of those strength arrows, honestly, early on. Here, this place looks very easy. There was a chalice down there. That was like the last time you'll ever see a chalice that's not in the shop, obviously. But getting it is not in your interest because you have to enter this room, and you can't enter it from below. So yeah, this is the other the other sacred chamber where you can get, yeah, the other strength arrow right here. Interestingly enough, in this particular level, there's actually 2 of these sacred chambers to unlock these strength arrows. However, from here, you have to not shoot a lot of arrows and miss, and you have to not take as much damage, because if you do, you're not going to impress the gods well enough, and you're not going to be able to get that other strength arrow very early on, which is kind of the goal here, honestly. I'm trying to get that next arrow. But I'm shooting way too many arrows and I'm missing a lot, so yeah, whiffing here is very, very suboptimal, to say the least. Here's another shop. Unfortunately, there's no bottle of life, so I just have to settle for a chalice so that I'm not, like, close to dying and whatnot. The feather thingy is too expensive in my opinion, so I don't think it's worth it, especially in a level like this where you're not really, like, running the risk of falling off anything. For the most part, anyway. Here, this part is pretty annoying, because here I'm definitely bound to take a lot of damage, because too many jumping frogs and too many underground enemies. And then there's the rockmen. But these are actually important to take out, actually, so you have to actually shoot them down. Also, another thing I noticed is that in the 3DS version, there's actually a lot less rockmen than there are here. Here, there's a lot more rockmen. So I don't know. Here's another training chamber, so I can actually, like, unlock another sacred weapon, which also impresses the gods. So that's also very important. As you can see, I'm positioning myself right here based on the fact that in the 3DS version of Kid Icarus, this actually worked, so you can avoid these monoliths and avoid taking damage in the process. Although in this version, it doesn't really work as well, actually, because you can get tackled from sideways as well, honestly. Whereas in the 3DS version, you only get hit by the one that's above you from, you know, the far left and whatnot. So again, another attempt at making this game more difficult. Well, at least, or I should say that this game was always more difficult. Or it's like what makes this game much more difficult than what it was in the 3DS version. Because when I first played the 3DS version of Kid Icarus, I thought that was going to be much harder than the original, honestly. But it wasn't. It turned out that this one was still harder. And also right there you saw the the feather come into effect because I slipped off the freaking ledge right there because I was actually I tried pausing near the edge to time my jump, but I ended up running off the ledge instead, so that kind of blows, honestly. Also, another thing that's very annoying about this version of the game is that even if my head's on the heart, it doesn't get the heart sometimes. And as you can see, this is the other sacred chamber that I was mentioning. And unfortunately for me, because I took too much damage and I missed a lot of arrows, obviously I disappointed the gods right there. So therefore I can't get the other strength arrow right here, which really blows, because getting all 5 of them as soon as possible is very huge just to get across this game as easily as possible, because damn. Because the further you get into this game, the more easier it becomes, because you have more health bars and more strength and more sacred weapons, obviously. Which in the early, like in the underworld, you just had none of that. So yeah, I think arguably the underworld's probably the hardest of these levels, but that's not to say that these are any like less difficult. They're still difficult, obviously. It's just that underworld was much worse, actually. Okay, so here's another of these rooms, and here I think I actually try to make sure I don't choke this time. I gotta watch out with that slippery movement, not to inch too far in, because otherwise I'll collect the item without trying. And there it is again. Now this item right here is a credit card, which I thought was pretty funny considering this is supposed to be a Greek, like a game based on Greek mythology. When the hell was there a credit card in Greek mythological times? There isn't, but it's because that's the thing. That's kind of what makes this game like kind of like a game that's not to be taken too seriously, because it's like it's just a fantasy type of game, honestly. Like they're pretty much mixing ancient stuff with modern day shit, honestly. So I think that should have also been a nice hint to the fact that Kid Icarus, the franchise, is like all about humor and lighthearted shit, honestly. Like nothing is meant to be taken seriously. Although, fun fact, supposedly the creator of this game actually intended for this game to be taken seriously, but they decided not to. I think the creator of Metroid suggested that it not be taken seriously, to the series' benefit, because a lot of people love the characters in Kid Icarus Uprising right now because of the whole humor shit and whatnot, the joking nature of this game, of this franchise. Like people love that, and I can see why. Honestly, it's very funny. Oh yeah, here this is my last chance to get another strength arrow, because I have to break those spice jars and you know, collect everything, obviously, without getting the God of Poverty, because that can disappoint the gods. Then I have to enter both of these Specnos chambers, destroy them, collect their hearts, and then I have to do another thing here. I think I already entered the second one, so I think right here, this is the sacred chamber, but I cannot enter it just yet because I have to shoot these rockmen, because these rockmen, for some reason, give you style points even if you don't collect their hearts. They give you style points, and it's good to impress the gods with it, honestly. This is why the protective crystals is very useful here, because I remember here always missing a lot of these fuckers, and as a result, I never impressed the gods well enough to actually unlock one of the strength arrows here. But with the protected crystals, you have a chance to hit 2 of them every time they fall, at least, for the most part anyway. I think you had to like shoot like 7 of them in order to actually impress the gods, and thankfully I did right here. But damn, I had to take a lot of hits. This would have been the 5th and final strength arrow if I got the one that was over there in the earlier level, honestly. But unfortunately, I kept taking too much damage and whiffing too many arrows, so yeah, obviously I wasn't going to get that far, honestly. So here I'm just going to see what I can do to actually get further enough into the level, because I think I remember having done this in the 3DS version as well, when I first played it, honestly. I remember like not getting the 5th strength arrow here, and still managing to beat the game, obviously. And with the best ending, by the way. But yeah, here is a hot springs, thankfully, because, dude, after going through all that shit, honestly, I really needed some HP. I didn't want to waste money on chalices. Here, these little spike ball thingies show up. Here, I'm trying to, like, dodge them, make sure I don't get hit by them. I have to jump over these, like, water pits, I think they are. Because Pit can't swim, I guess. Oh yeah, these things you have to watch out for, because these things are invincible. You cannot shoot them out of the level. They ignore your arrows and they steal your sacred weapons, which you definitely don't want. So you have to dodge them. And they're scary because they can jump very low, Or they can jump incredibly high and jump into your face, honestly. They're very unpredictable. That's why I don't like dealing with them. Also, did I call them Specnoses? They're not Specnoses, stupid. They're Protons. Or Plutons, not Protons. Plutons, damn it. Yeah, those things, yeah, avoid the Plutons at all costs because they're scary. They'll make you lose your sacred weapons, and getting them back is very difficult because you either have to do another of those trial thingies, those training rooms where you have to dodge the monoliths and all that, or you have to buy them back from the black market, and the protective crystal in particular costs 700 hearts to collect it back. And is that worth it? Probably not if you're trying to get the full 999 on the hearts and whatnot, which is kind of important if you want to actually get the best ending, by the way. Collecting all the sacred weapons is another requirement in order to get the best ending. You also have to get all the 5 health bars as well, which is basically indicated by the fact that you have 20 or 200k on the points and whatnot. So yeah, like I'm trying to beat this game with the best ending because, you know, this is a game that, because of Palatine, obviously, I cannot beat this game without the best ending. I have to beat it with the best ending. If I don't beat this with the best ending, I'm gonna start over and play it again until I freaking get it, honestly. I'm actually pretty stubborn when it comes to this game. What do you say? Try buying from me. Since I have a lot of money and I have yet to get a barrel, I'm gonna get it now, obviously. What the barrel does, by the way, is that if you collect a bottle of life and then you collect another one, you actually can have it in your inventory still, and you can have 2 bottles of life. According to what I've seen of what I've looked up on the barrel, supposedly you can actually carry up to 8 of these bottles of life, which is very nice. Although in my case, I never actually get to collect 8 because I'm always spending a lot of hearts on these bottles of life, and I always lose a lot of hearts in the process, and it's very hard to land like a lot of the arrows on the enemies, so I don't get to collect as many hearts. Plus, they come all over the place, and because of that, I get pressured into just simply ignoring the enemies and just dodging them and just getting through the level so that I don't die, because I take a lot of damage in the process, you know. Here is just a bunch of traversing. By the way, I love the music for Kid Icarus here too, honestly. I like the overworld one particularly. Overworld is my favorite, I think, of all the Kid Icarus soundtrack here. In this game, not in general, obviously. Not in the franchise in general, but like in this game alone. I like the overworld theme a lot. It's actually very upbeat. And it actually drives me to like do well, like, you know, try to at least survive to the end. Which I think I do, actually, for the most part here, actually. I think I actually do survive this whole overworld, thanks to this music. Because you saw how in the underworld I was just dying a lot, honestly. But the music in this one just drives me to, like, just play very optimally and just not die somehow. And if I am running the risk of falling off the platform, I am fully aware that I actually have the feather, at least. Just listen to that music. It kind of reminds me of the level 5 level from Contra, where it kind of makes that little sound. I love that beat, honestly. It's very good. Here, these are snowmen. If I had the strength, the 5th strength arrow, these would have only taken 2 shots, but because I didn't, now it takes like 3, I think, or 4, I think. I don't know, somewhere around there. They take more shots to take out now, which is unfortunate. So basically, this, because I don't get the 5th strength arrow, this is all now become like much harder for me. Another black market. The reason there's a lot of black market shops here is because the Plutons, obviously. The Plutons can actually make sure, like, can steal your sacred weapons, but if you have enough hearts, at any given moment here, you can get it back. Which is very important to have, usually, honestly. You do want to have the sacred weapons at your disposition to handle all these enemies, especially the protective crystals. Since that's the most expensive one too, honestly. If you lose your sacred weapons to the Plutons, if you got the protective crystals first, you're gonna lose the protective crystals first. So that's why I try to make sure I have as many hearts as possible. Because if I run into those Plutons again, I have to make sure I have enough to afford getting the protective crystals back. And here there's like a lot of these things, these thingamabobbers, but we do get across the 2nd level here. These levels are, or these worlds are technically short. It's like 3 in each world, but the levels themselves are hella lengthy, honestly. This is a night one. A lot of these rockmen are here. I'm still shooting these even though I don't think I need to anymore, just because I do need the hearts, and these things give you 10 hearts each. which is very useful. One thing I like about this game, honestly, I'll admit, is the way the item sound that plays when you actually collect items. It's actually pretty good. It sounds very cute too, honestly, especially when you just see Pit, a nice soul, collecting them. Okay, there's a lot of Shimums and a lot of Rockmen right here as well. Gotta shoot them all to collect as many hearts as possible. If I can get the 999 right here, it would be nice, so I can buy more items more comfortably. There's a lot of these frogs as well. We gotta make sure we don't get hit by them. Because again, coming across hot springs here is pretty unlikely here. Shoot them all. I think their falling speed also is very different here as well, honestly. I think it's much faster here than it was in the 3DS version. Here's more platforms that I have to jump over. Interestingly enough, these platforms actually look like the ones from Super Mario, which I think is kind of amusing. You have to traverse them in a similar manner too, honestly. Gotta watch out with those snowmen. There's also a lot more snowmen here in this game compared to the 3DS version as well, which is another difference I like to point out. More of these jumpy things. A treasure room. Here I'm gonna try to not choke again, and actually I think I did right there, honestly, by shooting that one haphazardly. But here, yeah, these are the 3 jars that you're guaranteed to shoot without unlocking the God of Poverty. So if the God of Poverty was on that one that I just shot by accident, I would have fucked up right here already. But the reason why it's important for me to actually get all of these jars is because I do want to get the expensive treasures that I could get, honestly, here, such as the feather and the bottle of life. So here I got the feathers, thankfully, and this is useful because you know, I've been falling off the ledges very often, and I do need to make sure I have one of these at least to be able to survive at least once. And if I die from there, then that's my fault, obviously. Collect the hearts as always. Here we're gonna traverse more stuff here. We have to dodge. Instead of falling off the level entirely, we're just running the risk here of falling into this hot-ass water. I don't think this is lava, by the way. Because lava would kill you, I feel. Based on the Mario games, anyway. But here, Pit just takes damage. But we don't want him to take damage, honestly. Because Pit is a good kid, honestly. I like the dude. He's awesome. I know I don't main him in Smash, but that's just because, again, like, I don't really like characters that play like sword characters, and Pit kind of plays like sword characters in Smash, honestly. But yeah. I also hate the cutouts when Pit like cries when he gets hit and whatnot, because that sounds like you're trying to like, it sounds like you're drowning someone in agony, like when you actually like, say you hit somebody and they go, ugh, but you cut them out by like stuffing their mouths or something like that. Like that's the impression I get when I hear this cutout of Pit screaming here when he gets hit. It's pretty annoying. It's one of my least favorite moments in the game, actually. The worst thing is still actually getting hit by that eggplant wizard, honestly. Here I'm trying that technique as always. Again, it doesn't work as well because, again, this is not the 3DS version. The 3DS version, you can actually dodge these things pretty well, actually. But here, you get hit from a lot of other areas, honestly. It's more unpredictable, I'd say. Here's another sacred weapon I can unlock. I got the flamethrower this time, or not the flamethrower, the fire arrows, which is kind of funny because I like that it has the F on it too, honestly. It's very reminiscent of Contra, where you just like collect the F power-up. But the F in this game is actually a lot better than the one in Contra because, you know, it actually helps with your vertical range. It even functions kind of like the fireball from Contra, actually, interestingly enough. So like, damn. I like the references that's making the Contra before Contra even came out. Because, by the way, this game came out before Contra 1, so it's actually nice to see that it's actually taking effects into, it's taking, like, all of these ideas in a coincidental manner and whatnot. Finally reached the shop. I decided to get a chalice here because, you know, I'm very low in HP. And I don't want to use up my bottles of life yet because those can come in handy for much later. So here I'm just going to get the chalice to, you know, maintain my longevity here. Gonna ignore these hearts because I think I can collect way more later on, honestly. This is the final level of this world and I have to do the fortress. And in the fortress is usually where I like to farm for these hearts anyway, so But getting across all this for me is way more important, because, you know, the more I drag, if I die anywhere here, I have to start all over, honestly. I think I'm better off, like, getting finished off in the fortresses than in the worlds, because in the worlds I have to start from the beginning, and I don't want that. There's no checkpoints in this game. Spec Nose Room, which I don't need, because I already have enough hearts. I'm only 200 away from 999. Okay, here's more of those Plutons. You gotta watch out. Sometimes they move fast, sometimes they move slow. They're very unpredictable. That's why they're scary. And unlike in the 3DS version, they actually don't die when they fall into the water. They actually just stay there. Like, what the fuck? That's crazy. In the 3DS version, they fall all the way down and they don't come back ever. So that's insane. That's, again, that means that this game was still much more relentless than the 3DS version. The 3DS version is basically like a very, very easy game by comparison with this one, honestly. But damn. Yeah, Plutons are probably the scariest things because they compromise your sacred weapons, and they can, if all of them hit you at once, they take all 3 of your sacred weapons, and then you have to make so many hearts to get them back, and combine with getting the training rooms as well. And that's just rough, honestly. And I think somewhere around here, I think if you lose all 3 of them, you don't even get to have them all by the end, actually. Which means that you won't get the best ending, most likely. And the goal for me is always to get the best ending when playing this game, so yeah. Okay, here's more of this hot water traversing, which is fine. Also have to avoid those thorns, because those thorns, even though they don't hit you immediately, they still can damage you. And the thought of Pit falling into a bush of thorns doesn't sound very pleasant, honestly. Shoot these jumpy things. I am gonna try to collect a few more hearts right here, because yeah, I'm running low after spending it a lot on the shops and whatnot. I'm actually happy that I actually dodged these Plutons altogether, because when I first played it on the 3DS, honestly, this game, it was actually very hard for me to dodge the Plutons. So it's actually amazing that for me here, I actually was able to dodge them altogether. So playing the 3DS version was definitely for naught, and I still kind of know what to expect from this game, honestly, even though it's much harder for a fact. But yeah. Here, more Rockman. There was actually no Rockman in this level, I think. Oh, no, there actually was, but not this late. There was only Rockman in the earlier portion of this level. But here, there actually wasn't any in the 3DS version, by the way. Here, I think the layout for this platform was still the same, but I don't think there was this many jumping frogs, actually. There was at least like 1, but not 2 like this, honestly. Not 2 at a time. More thorns. I think I'm approaching the end. I am. But these ground things keep attacking me. There's snowmen. There's a snowman up there, but... And that wasn't in the 3DS version either, honestly. But yeah, it is in this game. But thankfully we were just able to dodge it altogether by just entering in the room. And now here's where things start to get tedious again. And this is where I enter the fortress. The fortresses are always the worst in my opinion, because they drag for so long. They take forever. And if you don't know the fortresses like the back of your hand, you're going to have a hard time getting around it, obviously. You're going to get lost a lot of the time. You're going to spend hours in it. And that's suboptimal. I'll admit, though, that they are good for farming hearts, especially when you've used them a lot during the shops and whatnot. Oh yeah, here I'm going to quickly show you how I died, because I actually don't die at all throughout the fortress, but I do die here. So yeah, I just wanted to show you guys that. But now back to the whole thing and how I'm going to get around this, honestly. That's another thing I hate about the fortress, is that you can go through, you can spend hours here, and by the time you get to the boss, if you lose, you freaking have to start all this shit over again. One of my least favorite things about this, honestly. And look at that. Another thing. Well, I already mentioned this in the form of the hearts, but it's annoying that I can't grab the map right there when I'm grounded. I have to jump to get it. I don't think that was an issue in the 3DS version. Also, grabbing these ladders in the 3DS version was less inconvenient. Whereas here it's just, oh my god, like, can I just grab the damn ladder? I'm clearly pressing up when I'm facing it, so can you like just grab it? But you know, this game is just very inconsistent. Here, I'm actually gonna, because I got the map, I actually wanna get the torch and the pencil, because with that, I can actually mark my progress in the maze, and actually I can actually know my way around it and whatnot. Like you can see right there, that green stuff is where I've explored basically. Everything that's not like green is basically where I haven't unexplored yet, or I haven't explored yet. Jeez. Just watching the gameplay for this game really gets me nervous, because honestly, even though I'm not playing it right now, like, just the thought of having to go through all of this is just like, oh my god. Avoiding shimums those mushroom things I hate, because they move so damn fast. They move faster than the Spec-Nose enemies, I think. Look at this. They freaking move like crazy. They is Sonic the Hedgehog here or something. Look at them. They fall on you like rocks or something. Here I'm trying to find my way to a hot springs, I think, so I can like stay alive. But there's just so much shit here. I think here I try to avoid this because I don't like having to go through all this while shooting all these things, but this is arguably worse. So I'm gonna have to take my chances right here. Unfortunately, one of my bottles of life did have to be used up because, you know, I can't dodge these things very well. This is a shop. I think I opt to get the chalice here. Yeah, I do. Because I don't want to, like, I don't want to lose my other bottle of life. Because that would be mad annoying. Here, I find the hot springs, thankfully. I took a quick glimpse in the map to see where it was. That way I remember for next time I ever try to play this game again. Which I honestly don't know when that will be, honestly, because playing this game again would just... it'd just be stressing. I might actually play this game one more time on the Switch, actually. Since I already played it on the Wii U and on the 3DS. Might as well play it on the Switch as well, man. I think the quality is also better on the 3DS or on the Switch as well. Because here, for some reason, it's blurry. Oh, and another thing I forgot to mention. On the Wii U, for some reason, the games are actually much darker. You don't see it that way because I actually have to edit it so that it actually looks brighter so you guys can actually see it. But it actually comes with a dark filter for some reason that, I don't know. I couldn't find a way to remove it, so therefore I just have to like edit it in Vegas to actually freaking make it so that you guys can watch it and not actually just see everything all from a blurry perspective. Plus, a lot of us probably darken our monitors anyway, so imagine watching this with a darkened monitor. Like, that'd be worse. You guys would not be able to watch anything. Here I'm trying to, like, use the hammers to rescue the Centurions, because, yeah, the Centurions are actually a thing in this game, actually. They always have been, apparently. And, yeah, it's kind of important to get as many as you can here. In my opinion, it's kind of pointless for the first and final fortresses, because they kind of just die very easily. I don't know how to maneuver them so I can protect the Centurions, but they are very useful for the second fortress, actually, because they're actually much more like I can actually navigate around the boss to actually keep the Centurions from dying very quickly anyway. Here I'm just trying to find my way to the boss because I already got the hot springs. I got my HP back. I think I have enough Centurions to handle the boss, so... These things are annoying because you have to do this in a timely manner, otherwise you get hit by these things and take more damage. These walking mushrooms, I have to shoot them to get more hearts, because right now I'm very low in hearts because of the fact that I needed to collect a lot of chalices, or I had to purchase a lot of chalices to stay alive and not use up my bottle of life. Here's another shop, but I really can't afford anything. I already have the pencil and the torch as well, so I don't need those. And the chalice, I can't even afford it, so fuck it. These are eggplant wizards. I'd rather fall into this scalding water than deal with those things, honestly. Yeah, right there. Get the hearts for these things. And there it is. This is the final room to enter the boss chamber, as I like to call it. Just gotta destroy these final walking mushrooms and we're golden. Now this second boss right here, you already got a glimpse of it earlier because I died there obviously, but this boss is supposed to be huge raw. And for me, in my opinion, this one's the most tedious boss of them all, honestly, because this one is hard to land the hits on them, honestly. Like, I try shooting them and they just don't hit. Even the Centurions have a hard time shooting this damn thing. And it should actually be easier like that. It should work like that consistently. But for some reason, I'm not able to make it consistent. So that kind of blows. In fact, I think I lose all the Centurions here when I freaking try to shoot. I didn't have this problem in the 3DS version though. I was able to at least protect at least 2 of the Centurions before getting to the end of the boss. But here I think I lose them all. Yeah, I lose them all actually. And this portion is just going to take forever in taking it out because I lose all the Centurions. Look at this. I'm trying to protect it, but you know, Hydra is just very, very unpredictable in a way. He should be very predictable, but I don't know. I just can't figure out his pattern of movement very well. So I'm just struggling here. There is a way I can kind of like get 2 shots instead of 1, because getting 1 shot takes forever to get this thing out. And without the 5th strength arrow, I do less damage to this thing, so it takes much longer to take out. That's why getting that 5th arrow was very, very important. But since I didn't get it, now I have to deal with this basically. Have to like not fall into the hot water, because that's another thing that's also annoying. Although I think I'd rather take damage from the hot water than Hydra, because Hydra dishes out a lot of damage and you'll lose your life pretty easily. Here I just got desperate and just decided to take a hit anyways, because I really just want to get as much damage on this thing as possible. And hitting it right here is just becoming very hard. I'm missing out on a lot of arrows when I feel like I shouldn't. Like, look at that. I should have hit him right there, but it didn't. Another thing that's very annoying about this game, and this was also a thing in the 3DS version, but it's just that you don't get to use your sacred weapons here because, I don't know, I guess they figured that'd be too easy. But this game is already hard as it is. Might as well let us use the sacred weapons, for crying out loud. Because, look, otherwise this happens. I take forever. Look, I'm not even at 100 yet to take out this thing. It just takes way too long, honestly. I don't remember if Hydra was even that big of a deal in Kid Icarus Uprising, actually. But here, this is just tedious as fuck. What do I have so far here? I think I have... Okay, so I have 4 strength arrows. I don't think I have the 5th health bar yet. I think. I'm not sure. And I don't think I have the... Well, I don't have the last sacred treasure, obviously. And I don't have the 999 hearts, so... I need to keep that in mind. Oh shit, and I fall down right here. Yeah, okay. 69, nice. Yeah, this game is pretty hard, honestly. This was very tedious for sure, but I really just wanted to get through to this because I did not want to die here, honestly. Because if I die here, I had to start all that fortress shit all over again. You guys wouldn't see it because I wouldn't let you guys see it. But God knows that I still went through it, honestly. And I don't want to deal with that. So that's why it's in my interest to play this as tactfully as possible. That's kind of the thing with this game. You have to have a lot of tact. Otherwise, you're basically screwed. Which is something that I think Contra kind of like doesn't necessarily require you to have. You just have to go in and shoot all kinds of crazy shit. But yeah, this game is like, holy shit, bro. I'm inching closer every time. In the name of Palutena, I had to make sure that I don't freaking die here, because I don't want to start over again, honestly. I think around here is where I was like already 2.5 hours into this game, honestly. So adding more was just like not the move, honestly. I am getting closer. It was around this point where I was getting like very desperate to just freaking like go in and just shoot these things, but I did not want to lose my life. I think here I had to use my final bottle of life too, honestly. Which was unfortunate because I wanted to preserve that so I wouldn't waste more hearts later on. Because right now I'm low in hearts. I could have farmed for more hearts here, but I just was getting very impatient. Especially knowing that this huge boss can like finish me off and I'll still have to do everything from beginning. And I just didn't want to deal with that. But finally, we take out Hydra and we get the second casket, which means we get the second sacred treasure. I still don't have the 20k, so I still don't get the 5th health bar, annoyingly enough. It was around here where I actually usually do, but that's only because I do take the time to farm the hearts in that second fortress. But here I decided not to because, again, too desperate. I was losing the Hydra a lot, so I just didn't want to deal with that. Here's thankfully a hot springs because I needed that. And if I were to unlock the 5th and final HP bar, I would not even get any HP anyway. So yeah, I needed this hot springs right here. I like to call this music the telephone music because it sounds like a telephone. Look at it. Hello? Yeah. I don't know why, but this music sounds like a telephone. Which is actually kind of interesting because I always, like when I listen to this music, I don't know why, but I can't help but think too much about Palutena during it. It does give you the Palutena is calling type of vibe. I don't know why, but it does. Maybe it's because of the telephone music, I don't know why. But it just is what it is. Here, the jumps are very steep as well, like you have to time your jumps very well, otherwise you'll screw up. Also, you gotta not duck when you see those things come out of nowhere because you'll fall through the clouds. So yeah, you just cannot duck. You cannot duck, otherwise you'll fall. So yeah, you have to shoot them quickly, I think, before they shoot those balls at you. This is Skyworld, by the way. This is the third and final world before we get to the final fortress, and then we get to finally encounter Medusa, who is this game's villain. Here, this part of the level always gives me vertigo, just because it's like, realistically, I'd fucking freak the hell out here, honestly. Here I tried jumping through all of this. It's actually scarier in this game because everything is just all black. I feel like if you fall off, you'll fall into a black void of nothingness. At least in the 3DS version, it just looks like a nice little sky. It's still scary though, because you know, it's like looking from the top of a high-rise building or some shit. It's just scary, honestly. It's no wonder people say that this gets people's adrenaline going a lot of the time. Here I'm trying not to get caught red-handed by the Reaper, but Thingamabobber's too small. He'll turn immediately as soon as I try to approach him, so yeah, it is what it is. Thankfully we got rid of it. And these sacred weapons actually help me deal with the Reapets very well. Much better than before. Those are the flying plutons. I have to make sure I don't get caught by those, because then I'll lose my sacred weapon. And the first one that will go most likely is the protective crystals, which is the most important one in my opinion. So yeah. They're much easier to dodge than the ones in the overworld though, thankfully, because they only see you, they look at you, and they'll go straight towards you. They don't jump or anything like that. They don't do anything unpredictable, actually. In other words, they're the most predictable of the two variants. You can also just go across the stream right here and screen, and you can actually dodge them all together. So yeah, they don't merge on the other side, thankfully. Because if they kept merging there infinitely, that would have just made it difficult to get across. Getting more hearts though, because I still need the hearts. Trying to not to take so much hits because I still need to impress the gods to actually get that last strength arrow. Because if I don't get the last strength arrow, I don't get the best ending when I finish the game, honestly. And I want that best ending. Getting all of these hearts as well, so that the gods see that I'm collecting hearts as well. Despite taking so many hits, I'm collecting hearts as well. I'm hoping it outweighs the amount of times I've whiffed arrows and lost HP. Thankfully, I am finally able to enter. This is the last sacred chamber, and this is your last chance to get the strength arrow. If you don't get it here, you pretty much fucked yourself for getting the best ending. But thankfully, I got it. So yeah, that's the fifth one. That's when Pit turns into Blue Pit, which is actually pretty cool. I love the color blue. You guys know that blue is my favorite color, so getting Blue Pit here is actually amazing. Here I'm just looking at my progress, see what I have left. I just need the hearts, and I think I just need the 5th health bar, and we're pretty much good to roll from there. Here I'm trying to see if there's any more enemies to collect more hearts for, and there isn't any, so I just get through the level. So that's one. Now we're gonna go into the second phase of the Skyworld. I think this is the one that I actually remember having like a lot of time getting through it as well. These Reapers force me to jump a lot so that I can shoot the Reaper off the platform right there. This one doesn't really give me the vertigo vibe as much as the first one, honestly. Because I think this one, I feel like the navigation through it is more predictable than the other one. The only thing that's very inconvenient here are those Reapers, honestly. Since unlike in the 3DS version, if they see you from, even if they see you from far away, they can still like send the Reapets after you. But in the 3DS version, I think if you see them from far away, they don't even notice you. So that's actually kind of cool. Again, this game, much harder. Right there, I slipped off because of the slippery mechanics. There was nothing I could do there. In the 3DS version, I wouldn't have had that issue. I would have been able to reversal and just run back. But in this one, I ran off and just slipped off. So yeah, pretty annoying. The good thing about this game, and I think this is where Contra is technically harder than Kid Icarus in that front, is just that even if you die here, you don't start from the beginning like you do in Contra. You actually have to You just simply start, and you still have all your sacred weapons with you, and your power-ups. If you lose all of that while losing here, that would just be gut-wrenching. Thankfully, that's not the case. But this game still technically is harder than Contra. In my opinion, it's still harder than Contra. Because this is a game that you kind of have to know like the back of your hand in order to actually get around everything. And even then, you're still bound to get hit by something, honestly. Or you're bound to fuck up at some point. The experts that play through this game without taking any damage are just nerds, honestly. So, like, and I just am not, unfortunately. At least not to that extent, anyway. Where I'm, like, invincible at every video game that I play. But I do try my best, honestly. I ignored that room down there because that's actually a training chamber, and I still have all 3 sacred weapons because I was able to dodge all of the plutons that can steal it from you. So I didn't have to worry about it. Although I probably should have entered it just so you guys can check out what happens when you actually exit the training chamber without finishing it. Zeus will actually call you, "You weakling!" And I'm just like, bro, I have all 3 sacred weapons already. Why would you get disappointed in me? I'm ready, if you couldn't tell. I don't need this extra bit of training. Especially if it's gonna get me killed. But again, some of that non-like serious tone coming from Zeus when he says that too. I think there were basically, I guess you can say there were some hints here that would indicate that Kid Icarus Uprising would be all about that crazy humor that I wasn't expecting for some reason. But that was only because I never played the game when it was first announced, honestly. I just heard that it was announced, but I never got around to playing it. I didn't think it would be interesting. In fact, I thought the game was going to be like Brawl, where you just like, where the characters don't interact during the adventure and whatnot. Because you know how in Brawl, the Subspace Emissary, the characters don't interact with each other. I kind of thought Kid Icarus Uprising was going to be like that, but no. The characters actually had full-fledged dialogue, which was like, holy damn. Here's another black market, but I'm low in hearts, so I don't want to waste my time with that. I just need to collect as many hearts as I can, although I made them all under there and I can't get them for some reason, so yeah, that's kind of annoying. I also have to traverse all of this because I don't want to keep taking more damage. I'm close to dying here. I think there is a hot springs here that I need to get to so that I don't lose my stock, or not stock, but like, you know, so I don't get finished off basically, because I don't want to start all this all over again. Steep jump right there. I think that's the hot spring right there. Okay, there we go. 412 gang. There we go. You know, after playing Kid Icarus Uprising, every time I enter the hot springs, because of that one like moment where Pit's like, ah, the lovely hot springs, or some shit like that. I always do that shit myself here whenever I enter the hot springs. I'm just like, ah. I also take the time to stretch my fingers because this fucking game actually hurt my hands, honestly. Like, it was making me move like crazy, and I was just like, ugh, that was hurting my hands, honestly. I needed to stretch my fingers a lot of the time. But there we go. Okay, so here, that's the exit, obviously, but I'm going to actually stay right here to get some more hearts because I need it. So yeah, I'm going to shoot these underground things that give me the most hearts, because these Metroid-looking things are going to actually disappear at some point, as they have now. Yeah, there we go. Getting all those hearts. Here I spliced because, as you can see, I went to as far as getting 700 here because I just wanted to get as many hearts as possible. That way, when it comes to the next level, I can just simply go through it and not have to worry about collecting hearts. Although collecting the hearts is very tempting, because remember that I actually like the sound effect that comes with it when collecting the hearts. It's very cute, honestly. But now I finally got that 5th health bar. So now literally the only thing left to get the best ending is just to not fuck up like that, obviously. But is just get the 99 hearts. That's all I need now. I got all 3 secret weapons. I got all 5 strength arrows. And I got the 5 health bars, so now I just need the 9999 hearts and the final secret treasure, and we're good to go. Here, annoyingly enough, I wasted the freaking feather thing, which I really needed, specifically for this part of the level, because, yeah, this level, again, vertigo vibes. Because these platforms just look very, like, unstable. They look like you could slip off of them, honestly. Here, this harp, even though I skipped one earlier in the underworld, I just felt the need to get it here, even though I don't think it leads to much. But consequently, I got myself killed because of it. Unfortunate. Although I wouldn't have if I actually didn't waste my feather thing right here. It's because I keep ducking, thinking I can, like, just crouch. But here in the clouds, I actually end up freaking falling off, which is annoying. Here, the little Metroid things here, actually, like, I think that's the only thing you can get out of this, honestly, out of this harp. Just these 2 Metroids. Probably 4 if you actually don't have to, if you don't hit them, the other ones. Or if you manage to, like, get them before they disappear off screen. You know, I think it's funny that those Metroid things are even in there, because supposedly, I guess that's like kind of like a nod to the fact that I think the production team behind the Metroid games was also behind the making of this game. So that's kind of interesting. Looks like a nice little Easter egg, all things considered. Here I'm going to try to get more hearts, because again, I feel like I'm going to waste more money on the bottle of life right now. So I actually want to make sure I get that, or I have enough hearts to like still be able to get more later on. Although this, you're gonna find out later, it was kind of for naught, because at the end of the day, I'm still gonna be low in hearts regardless, because I just need to keep getting more and more of these items to stay alive, because I keep taking a lot of freaking damage throughout this. In the 3DS version of the Kid Icarus game, I just could not, honestly, I could not like deal with that that damage taking stuff, honestly. Like I couldn't, or not I couldn't, I didn't have to deal with that as much. Here I do, and here I could not stand it very well. It was very annoying. It got me losing patience a lot of the time, that I just felt the need to freaking, you know, do all kinds of things. Like I got like crazy and like just started throwing myself at the enemies, even if I end up losing a lot of HP, and as a result I get myself killed a lot of the time. So yeah, it's kind of crazy, honestly, that it goes like that a lot of the time. Oh, okay, now here, this is the final home stretch here for this level. I have to get through these clouds, and I have to watch out for the enemies, and I hope the enemies don't force me to crouch, because if they do, then basically I'm gonna get screwed over again. I don't want to deal with those shenanigans. And yeah, okay, like here, gotta dodge these thingamabobbers, get to these clouds, watch out for those jumping things. I'm gonna shoot a few of them to collect more hearts, because, yeah. Just watching this, honestly, gets me, like, sweaty, too, because, like, I can imagine all the shit I have to go through just to dodge this. Now, here, this is actually scary, because I have to make sure I take a small jump, because I don't want to run off the level again. Shoot this thing, get the heart. Here, go through the other side, and shoot the Reaper from the other side of the level. Although it doesn't matter, because they'll see you regardless, and they'll send the Reapets after you regardless. As you can see, it looks at you from all the way over there, and it still sends out the Reapets, which was not the goal whatsoever, honestly. I don't know what these jumping things are called, but they were kind of like, these are like the Skyworld variants from the Underworld, basically. Here, I'm gonna try to jump here. This actually looks like the Palutena's temple in a way, honestly, for some reason. This looks like her backyard or some shit, which is hilarious. More Metroid thingies. I forgot what these things are called too, honestly, these Metroid things. Supposedly in the Japanese version of this game, they are called Metroids, but I forgot what they're called in the English version of this game. Getting these delicious hearts. Near the end. This is the final shop of the game, I think. Actually, no, that's not true. It's not the final shop of the game. The final shops in the game are in the fortress, the final fortress. Here, I decide to get another chalice, because I'm about to enter that fortress without any health. So I need to be able to, you know, take a hit or two here and there. Plus, I think I don't remember if I had a bottle of life, but if I do, then it would be nice to preserve it. Okay, here I'm going to try to collect a few more hearts until there's no more enemies, because I want to be able to go in there and not have to collect as many. But as you're going to see, I'm going to end up doing that just anyway, honestly. And you're going to find out why. But yeah. So this is the final obstacle that I have to deal with in order to get this game finished. Is the, well, it's not the last one, but it's the last big one, I'd say. It's this damn fortress. Which, I'll be honest with you, once again, even though I've played this game like already a handful of times now, I still don't know my way around it very well. I think I only know my way around the hot springs, or to get to the hot springs, but to reach the final boss is kind of hard, honestly, I feel. I feel like I have to take a specific direction in order to get to it, and I still have no idea what that specific direction is. This level, or the fortresses in general in this game, they always get me lazy too, honestly. Like, I just want to, like, not even think too hard of where everything is in relation to each other. I just want to find my way, period, and just get it over with. And that definitely hurts me, because that ends up resulting in me just staying here for long periods of time. And while not knowing where anything is, on top of that, for that matter. See, right here, I thought this was where the hot springs was, but it wasn't. I needed to go more up. Like, I have to go up almost to the top, and then I have to go back down while heading forward. Yeah, I have to go up there, I think. The Shimums that appear here are very crazy. These little, I don't know what they're called. They're shurikens or something. Little suns, moons. I don't know what the hell they're called. They're little star thingies. Those things move like I don't know, like their life depends on it or something. Which I guess you could say technically does, because Pit will shoot them down, obviously. But yeah, they move like crazy, honestly. That was not the issue in the 3DS version. In the 3DS version, all these Spec-Nose wannabes actually moved like at normal speed. But here they move like fucking crazy, and they're hard to react to, at least for me. I hate those little things that look like fireballs or laser thingies. They look like the laser thingies from Contra, actually, interestingly enough. But they might not be lasers. They might be spikes, if anything, like spikes. Okay, but here's the hot springs that I take, and yeah. Do expect a lot of splicing at this portion of the level, because I'm here for like a good hour, actually. I'm in this fortress for like a good hour. So, yeah. Like, if you see a lot of fade-ins and stuff like that, it's just because I'm literally splicing at this point, because there's just too much going on in this level. And I just couldn't fit it all in one session, honestly. It would be too much to watch, and it would be boring, honestly. Since a lot of it is just me really collecting hearts till I get to 999, then wasting a good chunk of it to get bottles of life and chalices to stay alive and whatnot. Because here, when I take damage, I take a lot of damage, crazily enough. I also don't know if it's me, or do the enemies here dish out more damage than they do in the 3DS version. Here I found the map. Finding the map in this fortress was always hard for me, honestly. I'm actually impressed that I actually found it here. That means if I find another shop, I can just buy the freaking pencil and the torch so I can know my way around the place. I'm definitely gonna need that. Because this fortress, even to this day, I still lose my way around it. Look how fast these things move. They move so fast. Yeah, I'm looking my way to see. Got a hammer. Release the Centurions for whatever it's worth, because this one, the final boss for this one, also doesn't let you use the Centurions very well, because of the way the boss works and whatnot. Here I'm gonna, yeah, you saw there was like one of my first of many splices, because I was like finding my way around this place, and I just kept getting lost. Still free in Centurions though, which is nice. Still hard to grab those ladders, it seems. I go down here to see what's up. I think there was nothing here though, but I think I tried to go to that door over there, just to see if there's anything of substance. Free the Centurion beforehand. I had to take damage, and these things, these look like football guys or some shit, honestly. I don't know, but they dish out a lot more damage, and from the looks of it, there's no way around here, so that kind of blows. Went there for naught, other than to collect hearts and free the Centurion, but that's about it. Okay, just get some hearts here. Here, I'm gonna try to go in here. This is the entrance, and I actually never went down here, so we're gonna try to go here for the first time ever. There's some eggplant wizards, which you better hope for God's sakes you don't get hit by those, honestly, once you come down, because if you do, then you'll have to find your way to the hospital again, and that shit will be annoying. Since this fortress is actually more obnoxious, since there's a lot of these star chip thingies around here. And they move so damn crazy. Okay, here I remember that there's a shop here, so I'm gonna try to take advantage of getting the pencil and the torch here, if they have it. Because sometimes they don't have it. Sometimes they have the bottle of life, the chalice, and the hammer, which right now I don't need, honestly. So I'm gonna try to, yeah, I'm gonna look at and see. Yeah, I was thinking about it, but yeah, no, I wanted to actually get the pencil here. Here, I think. Here I was actually planning on just screwing it, but then I remembered, wait a minute, maybe this is not a good idea. Maybe I should probably get the pencil somewhere. But I wanted to just see what was around these areas before anything. Oh, and in fact, I think what triggers me to buy the pencil and the torch is actually that I think somewhere around here I actually get hit by that eggplant wizard, I think. Yeah. And this right here, this is the path to get to the final boss, actually. Yeah, I have to go up, though. I have to keep going up. Yeah, I keep getting hit by those stupid star chips, but it is what it is, obviously. Free more Centurions. Shoot these Shimums. Take out these football players. I think they look like football player helmets, now that I think about it. Dark star chips that give less hearts than the... Okay, there's the eggplant wizards, but I don't think I get hit by them just yet. But this is the way, I think, to get to the boss. It's a lot of traversing, now that I remember it. Free this guy here. This one right here. Get this one as well. Yeah, I think here I was trying to make my way to the final boss so that I didn't have to waste more time here. I think that's what was going on here, actually. But that would have been a bad idea, all things considered, though, because I still have only 616 hearts. But there is a way I can actually farm for them. But here's the thing, though. Those eggplant wizards, they're guarding the area right here. Here I take advantage to try to shoot one of them. Unfortunately, they were reacting way too fast, and I reacted way too slowly, and I got caught with the eggplant. So now I have to... I think this was what triggered me to find my way to the shop and buy the thingamabobber. The map and... Or, well, not the map, the pencil and the torch. So I can like find my way around if I get caught by another of those eggplants. Because it's clear that in this game, compared to the 3DS version, I get hit by a lot more eggplants here, than eggplant wizards, than I do in the 3DS version. So having to know where the hospitals are is imperative to getting this portion done. I can't even get in there very easily. Jumping from one place to another is also very difficult in this game, especially with how slippery this game is. I didn't know which way to go here, but I had to take my chances because I didn't want to get hit by more of these star chips. Here I don't know where I'm at. I'm just YOLOing here. I'm just guessing, honestly, where everything is here. There's a shop right here. Oh, and it's the shop. Yeah, it's this shop right here, the one that I skipped initially. I take more of that freaking shit. Oh, I think here, yeah. I think here I'm trying to find the other hot springs that's here. Yeah, and I found it right here. Getting my nice HP back. But then I go back to the shop to find the pencil and the torch because I still need to get rid of this eggplant thingy. As you can see, it's just very obnoxious getting through all of this without being able to attack the enemies. Yeah, look at that. I'm even getting impatient and I'm just like wanting to just run through all of this. Because like, I want to get this finished. Gotta dodge those eggplant wizards. Here I go to the shop because I'm like, okay. I was considering not going because I just wanted to get this over with, but I kind of knew that I needed it right now, especially because I'm currently eggplanted. Get the torch. Now I have to go back and reset until I get the pencil, because I need the pencil right now. There it is. Okay. Now here is where I finally start to make my way towards that hospital, which I'm not going to show because it took me way too long to find it. But there it is. And this is how it looks when you actually get the eggplant curse removed. I forgot how I got rid of it in the Kid Icarus Uprising though. I don't think there were hospitals like these, honestly. I forgot how I got rid of them, but it is what it is. Here, regenerating some more HP because I need it. And here I go back to where this hospital place is because I wanted to see what else I can do here. If there was anything else of substance, or if there was any way to get to the final boss through this path, maybe. Going down here. Looking at the map. I have to look at the map consistently to see where I'm at, because even if it's all highlighted, I need to look at it so I can see where I should go, where I haven't explored yet. Okay, now somewhere around here. I think here is where this is the portion where I take like centuries before I finally get out of this fortress. Because what happens is that these star chips, I hate them. They move too fast and they're very difficult for me to react to. But I know that these things give you a lot of hearts because they give you 10 every single time. So because I'm low in hearts right now and I need hearts right now to get the 99999, I'm gonna try to basically farm these things, even if they're hard to freaking hit because they're fucking fast. Look at that! Look at that! They move so fast I can't even hit them. I gotta like time it. Don't get me wrong; these star chips look cool though, but they're just so freaking hard to hit that it's just very annoying. As you can see, I farmed them literally all freaking day just to get to almost 999. And I think with that it would be enough, and then I just have to find, I think, the hot springs again, get my HP back, and get going. Or so I thought, honestly, because you're gonna see right here that it's basically all this 9999 that I got right now was for naught. You're gonna see how that's the case right now. But here I'm gonna actually take the opportunity to get this bottle of life. I believe I collect 2 of them, and I'm honestly glad I did. Honestly, you're gonna see why I'm glad I did. Yeah, I'm gonna get another one here, I think. Yeah, there it is. In between these portions, I was actually always farming these star chips because, you know, they give a lot of hearts and whatnot. It was the most accessible thing too, honestly, without running into the eggplant wizards. Sort of, because you kind of still do, but just not as much. And it's near the hospital too, so that was also something that made it more comfortable for me to do this. So once again, farming that 900. Regenerating once again, and I think here's where I try to finally make it to that final portion of the level to get to the final boss. But I need to make sure I'm fully like in HP, because otherwise getting through it is gonna be a nightmare. And when I get to the boss, I'll just die most likely if I'm weakened and whatnot. But here we go, finally making our way here. Although I have to not make sure these Shimums don't hit me because I don't want to take more hits right now. You gotta watch out with this. And another one. The fact that these shits repeat themselves is very annoying, actually. Like, I got through one already. Can you stop giving me more? Okay, here again, star chips return. But I think here I'm just guessing here at this point. And then I realized that was a mistake because, yeah, right there you can't go anywhere. It had to be up here. Had to take another hit from these star chips, which is really annoying. It's not it here. I have to go up there. I have to go higher up there. Watch out with the Shimums. You don't want to take more damage, because you'll be weakened by the time you get to the final boss. Watch out for these star chips again, because they're annoying. Watch out with these eggplant wizards. Like, all of this shit comes at you before you get to the boss, which is kind of crazy, honestly. Annoyingly enough, I can't shoot this eggplant from the bottom of the platform like you could in the 3DS version, so I had to jump and shoot them from the sides. More star chips, annoyingly enough. Hard to dodge because they're fast. And me not being able to get that ladder is also pretty annoying, despite me holding up a lot of the time. Pressing up a lot. More of these obnoxious zooms. Okay, here's a room full of nothing, which is a relief. But then here, these eggplant wizards again. Gotta watch out. Don't get hit by them. Dodge them. Don't get hit. Yeah, I almost died. I wanted to get that heart, but I didn't need to. And if I did, I probably would have gotten hit by that eggplant later. Try not to get hit by these fire thingies because, again, we don't want to take too much damage. I lost 2 health bars just going through all of this. Imagine that. And I'm losing more still because these star chips are still here. Yeah, look at that. I'm almost at 2 health bars now. And unfortunately, because I've been taking too much damage here, unfortunately I have to take on these football players here every time. Because here, this is the final shop of the game. I'm going to collect the chalice here, which costed me some hearts. And what I'm going to do right here is actually, yeah, just kill this one football player. I spent like another hour, either an hour or half hour or 45 minutes, I don't know. But somewhere around there, I spend trying to farm this one football player to get 999 again. That took a long ass time, I'll have you know. But I needed to do it and make sure that I had decent enough health to face the final boss, because otherwise I was just going to lose and start over, and I didn't want that. So yeah. Now this final boss right here, this final boss is Pandora. She's actually that one that turns into that sexy character in Kid Icarus Uprising, which is actually nice. It's kind of nice to know that this was what she was back in the old days. It's not her actual form, it's not her true form, it's just what she turned herself into, honestly. But yeah, it's kind of amazing that you actually get to see it in this game too, honestly. There was a lot of references in Kid Icarus Uprising that from the first game that I'm actually glad I played this game before Kid Icarus Uprising, because otherwise I probably would have been confused at what they were talking about when referencing all the enemies and the bosses here. And a lot of the times that they're like talking about how they faced each other before and whatnot, always reminiscing about the game. So yeah, no, I'm glad I played this game. But it is a hard ass game, honestly. 3DS was also hard, but just not as hard as this one. This one is just... This was a whole different ballpark somehow. Even though it's the exact same game with the exact same layout. But the patterns of the enemies is different. They're faster, and I think they come in multitudes as well, honestly, compared to the 3DS version. Which made it very difficult for me to even get around them. As you can see right here, the Centurions were basically useless because those two... Shit, my bad. Those 2 bubbles right there keep destroying them all the time. And they go all over the place. It's hard to like protect the Centurions in that front, honestly. So I just have to depend on myself here to actually take out Pandora. Another thing I hate about Pandora in this level is just that sometimes they go all the way to the top and just camp there for a while. And I'm just like, bro, I'm trying to finish your sorry ass up. Here I almost lose my freaking life, but I think I have a bottle of life here, honestly. Which is one of the reasons why I wanted to actually get 2 of them. Because I wanted to have one for when I get to the final level. Here I just need to hit them one more time. And bingo, there goes Pandora. No sexy form for you. Today at least. And with that, we got the 999 as well, so throughout the level, we don't got to worry about anything other than to get through it to face the final boss of this level, of this game. I was going to say of this level, I just got through it already. That is a lot of points. That's indicative of how many hearts I collected throughout this level. It was a lot. But here we go. Finally, the elephant in the room. Pit finally equipping himself with the 3 treasures. The 3 sacred treasures. I actually do die a lot in this level too, but you're not gonna see that because I don't feel like showing it, honestly. Listening to this music and then seeing Pit die kind of pisses me off, so I just don't want to show it, honestly. But just know that I did die a lot of times here, actually. Particularly when it came to Medusa, actually. Like, I actually don't know how to... I didn't know how to handle Medusa at the time here, actually, so... But I kind of have an idea now, but at the time I didn't, so yeah. But getting through these enemies was also pretty difficult for me. In fact, in the 3DS version, it was actually a lot harder for me. Like, I always kept dying before getting to Medusa, actually. But here, I seem to handle pretty well. Despite the arrow in this game, in this version of the Kid Icarus game, to be more, you know, I find it to be more, like, terrible. Because unlike in the 3DS version, where you get to shoot a lot of them like a laser from Control or something, this game, you can only shoot one arrow, and until that arrow disappears from the screen, you cannot shoot another one. But in Kid Icarus, for the 3DS, the first one, not Uprising, the first one, this game, but in the 3DS version, you can shoot at least up to 4 of them on screen. But here you have to shoot them in a very specific way. It's like one at a time. It's very annoying. I have to depend on that one arrow to shoot multiple enemies, which I see how it happens now, but it's still annoying because I miss a lot of the time. Throughout this whole journey, I've been like missing arrows, so being forced to shoot only one arrow to land on all these enemies is a tall ass order, honestly. But I guess that would have made it too easy, wouldn't it, if I was just able to shoot? But that's the point. I have the 3 sacred treasures now. I'm supposed to be invincible against all these enemies. Well, not invincible, but you know, like I should be more potent, not vulnerable. What was this game thinking, honestly? Yeah. Those crab-looking things, those things that look like clams, honestly, those things were my least favorite, honestly, to deal with here. Because those things are very hard to hit, and they kind of dodge you in a way. They hit you at a very uncomfortable angle. Same with these things too, honestly. I don't know what they're called, honestly. I don't know what those totem poles are called either, honestly. They just look like totem poles. Have to shoot. Oh yeah, also something worth noting. The amount of time this level takes to finish is all dependent on how many enemies you take out. Supposedly you have to take 50 of them out, which can be literally of any of these enemies. But you have to take out 50 of them. And personally, I never really keep count, honestly. I just shoot until it's time for me to finally encounter Medusa. I just hope that I don't lose a lot of like health in the process, because that's another problem. These enemies dish out like half of your I think like half of your health bar, I think. Or almost, maybe a third of your health bar. But you get a lot of damage, honestly. You take a lot of damage from these enemies. So you don't want to like get hit by them, but they also kind of come at you like from very uncomfortable angles. Like you're kind of bound to get hit by them at some point, unless you're an expert, which I'm not. But you know, it is what it is. These ghost thingies also are very annoying because of how fast they move, and since I can only shoot with one fucking arrow, it's a pain in the ass to try to aim and shoot. You actually have to be a good archer to actually aim these things well. But here we go, the moment of truth here. We're gonna finally take on Medusa. And I think this one, this track is actually probably my favorite. If not the overworld theme, this is my favorite tune. It's very action-packed sounding, and it really sounds like your life depends on it if you don't actually take her out right now. And as you can see, I'm actually struggling to take her and the Thanatos that's accompanying her right now. Because, yeah, I did not know that you were supposed to stand, like, or position yourself, like, right in front of that pole that's right there. And kind of below so that Medusa shoots downwards all the time without hitting you. And like that, you could just spam the arrow, and the only thing you have to worry about really is just the Thanatos that keeps coming out of her, whatever those tubes are. So yeah, but here I didn't really think of it. I already knew it was a thing, but I just didn't know how to execute it properly, and I didn't want to risk losing my life for it. But in the process, I ended up making this much harder for me. So obviously I had to take my time here and just like dodge these discs that she keeps throwing at me, and just time my shots. I hate that I can only shoot ones at her too, honestly, because I want to just spam and just shoot her endlessly, but it's difficult. And the Thanatos isn't making things any easier either, honestly, because he just keeps showing up, and it's hard to hit the Thanatos too, honestly. But there we have it. I thankfully was able to, and this is where the freaking bottles of life came in clutch, because I lost, I think, both of them here. This was my last one. But there we go. All of this was done in the name of Palutena. Even though Palutina's a goddess, she could have done this shit herself, honestly. She could have taken care of Medusa. But she didn't for some reason, because apparently she's actually like this clumsy character that kind of messes up on a lot of things. And one of those fuck-ups was messing with Medusa, I guess. I don't know. I actually don't know the lore behind this game either, honestly. I don't know the lore for Contra, and I kind of don't know the lore for Kid Icarus that well. I just know that this game is supposedly not to be taken seriously, apparently. So we just have to defeat Medusa, and Palutena says thank you, and that's it. Which is kind of hilarious. That's why getting the best ending is actually the best, literally the best thing you could do when finishing this game, because in that game, the character of Palutena actually respects you. She says things, and then she turns Pit into a grown-up and kisses him, kind of like how Peach does with Mario when you rescue her and stuff. At least in Super Mario Bros. 3 and Super Mario World, but yeah. Here, it's the same thing, honestly. But that was kind of the point. I wanted Palutena to give me the respect that I deserve, or Pit the respect that he deserves for going through all of that just to come and save her, basically. That's also what, like, despite this game being so hard to discouraging levels, is what got me to, like, still, persevere, because, it was Palutena I was trying to get to, and I got to her. And I got her, and now she's mine. Well, sorta. But anyways, so yeah, that's gonna be the whole game. This was one hell of a journey, honestly. I'm actually glad I got to beat it, and yeah. I did this in the last run that I made for Kid Icarus as well, just because I wanted to actually refer to the fact that I was gonna actually showcase Contra. This was like a franchise that I was actually alluding to for a while now. I just never got around to showcasing it on my channel until recently. But I also wanted to showcase this side of my run of Kid Icarus, not only because in the last one I didn't say anything, I didn't provide any commentary because I just didn't feel like it, but I figured for this one I might as well. Since it's basically the same game but just different. I was going to live commentate it, but I just decided not to because it was just not worth it, honestly. So I just kind of, because of how difficult it was, I'd probably be like gushing on the mic. I'd be like, and it wouldn't be pleasant, honestly, because it was too difficult, honestly. But I'm thankfully glad I got it down already, honestly. I might actually get around to playing Myths and Monsters whenever I have time, honestly, and maybe even showcase Uprising at some point, just to showcase that I've played these games, because I can say that I've played Kid Icarus, Uprising, Myths and Monsters, and this one as well, but if I don't have any footage of it, how can I prove it to anybody, honestly? That's one of the reasons why I actually wanted to showcase this run of Kid Icarus, honestly, just to get this franchise started. It's an easy franchise to get into, honestly, so I figured it's definitely worth it, honestly. But anyways, that's gonna be my run. Hopefully you guys got some insight from all of this, honestly. I know that I'm not the best when it comes to commentating stuff, but I actually like to give my point of view regardless, and I'm hoping that I was able to get it across, and also point out all the differences that this version of Kid Icarus had compared to the 3DS version of the first Kid Icarus game. But anyways, once again, thank you for watching it. This was a pretty lengthy session. Hopefully you guys liked it and had a good time and whatnot. For now, just take it easy and have yourselves a good one.